guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be my official review on Bridgerton season 2. It came out this weekend and it was highly anticipated. I literally finished it in one sitting, you guys. I know I said I was going to pace myself, but I couldn't do it. So I did finish it, and if you guys want to hear some of my thoughts, just keep watching. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and start. The first thing I want to say though is I have notes. So from looking down, it's because I wrote a whole bunch of thoughts and I want to make sure that I'm able to put them in the video, because sometimes I forget if I just go off the cuff. But I do have notes in front of me. So if you see me looking down, it's because of that. I'm going to just start off by saying, wow. I absolutely loved this season. I think it is way better than season 1, just because the relationship between Anthony and Kate is crazy. They have incredible chemistry and it resonated so much on screen. You could see, I mean, I did do a book review and I talked about the book. I have the book right here, and I loved Anthony and Kate, the characters, just from reading the book. Their story alone is something that I loved. So being able to watch the two actors that played, I believe their names are Simone Ashley and Jonathan Bailey, I think his name is. Oh my God, forgive me if I got that wrong. I know it's Jonathan. I don't know if it's Bailey. I think it's Jonathan Bailey, but whoa, guys, they blew it out of the park. I think they did incredible. I absolutely loved their chemistry. They definitely made the story a slow burn, which was, honey, we were burning. And it was just done incredibly well. I do have a few things that I have a few, I don't want to say critiques, but like I do have a few things that maybe I didn't love so much. But first, I just want to talk about how insane their chemistry is and just how it literally was everything. Their chemistry was incredible, and I loved it. It was amazing, and I think everyone agrees. I feel like I watched also a few interviews with just with the cast, and you can tell that the two actors, like, you can see their chemistry even when they're, you know, sitting in an interview. You can see that they're really comfortable with one another, and it really resonated on screen. I can't tell you how amazing they were. They were so good, and I just want them to be like, I want their relationship to be more like of a focus in the show going forward. But obviously that's not how it works. Like they each Bridgerton is going to have their own storyline and have their own season. So hopefully, I think they also mentioned in every interview that they both Anthony and Kate will be in season 3. Obviously they're not going to be the main focus. It's going to be about Benedict, I believe, but I hope they are at least in it, because they were really good. Yeah, so they did amazing. There obviously were changes from the book to the show. I was literally just sitting watching and waiting to kind of see like what was going to change. And what I will say is the one thing that I didn't love so much is just how much screen time I think the Featheringtons had. I feel like, because that's probably the only thing that I didn't love, is that I felt like the Featheringtons had so much screen time. I get that Penelope is Lady Whistledown, and they're also kind of like building up to her season, obviously. But, and it's funny that I even say this, because I was talking to a viewer of one of my past videos about Bridgerton, and she was talking about how she noticed how much screen time the Featheringtons had in season 1 compared to the book. And just how it was crazy. And obviously in the second book, I hadn't read the first book, so I don't know, but in the second book, they're not in it like that, like not a lot. It's very focused heavily on Anthony and Kate. And so yeah, it was like a lot. I think they focused a lot on them, and I would have preferred more of Anthony and Kate. There was just a lot of subplot. I feel like there was a lot of kind of building other characters, which is fine in a sense, but because I just feel like they have such great chemistry, and the characters are so interesting. Like from the book, like they have both Anthony and Kate, but specifically Kate, I feel like they changed her story a little bit more. They didn't get into kind of the trauma that she's had and just anything really about her biological mom, and that's kind of a focus in the book. Also, they changed the timeline a little bit. They changed the fact they literally get married at the end in the show, and we don't even see a wedding, whereas in the book they literally get married after the bee sting. So she gets stung by a bee, which they had in the show, and I was literally watching because that's like the 3rd or 4th episode, and I was like, okay, like they're gonna get married after the bee sting, but it didn't happen like that. They changed it a lot, and I mean, I guess it kept me on my toes, but what actually happens is she gets bitten by the bee, which freaks him out because his dad, that's the same in the book, his dad actually dies in front of him because he got stung. He tries to suck the like poison or whatever out of her on her chest, and that kind of leads them to be in a compromising position, and a lot of people, they were in view of a lot of people at their country home, and that leads them to kind of need to get married, very similar to Simon and Daphne being kind of pushed into marriage in that way. And I think that was primarily why it was cut out of the show, because it would have been kind of repetitive, and so they tried to change it up, which makes sense. But I probably would have loved being able to see Kate and Anthony married and like see more of that, and just kind of her adjusting to being a viscountess, and like having her kind of be peeled back a little bit, and just kind of like get to know her character more, and just kind of like understand her story more so. I don't think that was it wasn't, I don't know, I don't want to say it was done wrong, but I mean, I would have preferred, or I would have loved to see, you know, just kind of like her trauma. Like even they kept in the library scene, and they kept in the library scene where she's in the library because she's having trouble sleeping because of the storm. In the book, she literally has terrors from the rain, and it, like from the storm, she's like literally terrified out of her skin, like she's scared, and Anthony finds her and comforts her. And then later on, once they're married, you know, he finds out she talks in her sleep, and he finds out that she's actually like triggered by this memory from when she was younger that she doesn't even remember, and it kind of leads them to asking more questions to her mother about what happened, and like more so there was just more kind of a deep dive into Kate, and like them being able to kind of get closer through like an emotional trauma kind of thing, and I would have loved to see that. I feel like, yeah, it was just a lot of I would have preferred to see that more than all of the Featherington kind of subplot. But overall, I think the two actors are amazing. Simone Ashley is absolutely stunning, so beautiful. I don't know the name of her sister either. She's beautiful as well. Anthony's a little hottie. And I just feel like they make such a beautiful couple, but they have such intense chemistry, and it resonated so much. Like I said, I keep repeating myself, but it was crazy. I really, really loved the both of them together. They did such an amazing job casting Simone, and it was just done. Everything was perfect. I loved, of course, you know, the clothes and the music and the freaking scenery. Come on, like the Bridgerton country house is a dream. Like if you could just leave me there for a little bit and I could just explore, that would be a freaking dream. I think both their country and city home in London are beautiful, and just like everything that I want. But yeah, their homes, the costumes, the everything from the everything about it was all of the things that I loved. It was just perfect. Also, it was so beautiful and bright and aesthetically pleasing, as we know about Bridgerton. That is, you know, they're known for that. And it is just such a it was so beautiful to watch and so incredible. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And I just hope, I don't even know, I loved the two, you know, what is it called, the couple so much that I don't know how they would ever you know, make their story progress in any way. I don't think that's gonna happen, obviously, because that's just not how it works. I mean, each, like I said, each person has their own book, and I hope we do get to see them in the next season somehow. I mean, I'm sure, because it's like the family, we will see them. But I do believe, I don't remember exactly, but I think I remember watching an interview of them saying that they are coming back for season 3. I don't know if it's officially confirmed, so don't take my word for it. Obviously, I guess we will find out closer to the date of when season 3. I don't even think they've filmed season 3 yet, no. But yeah, I think a lot of people want to see more of them. We also saw Eloise and her kind of little budding romance for her. I'm really excited for her story. Like I mentioned in a video of, I think it was my review for the book for, yeah, it was the review for the book, and I was saying how Eloise is the other Bridgerton that really interests me a lot. I find her so interesting and just so funny, and her character is one of my favorites on the show. Her and Anthony are my two favorite Bridgerton, but I'm also really excited to actually see Benedict's and just kind of how it plays out. I don't know if I'm gonna read it first. I will actually. You know what? I'm gonna read it because there's such a difference in the show and the book. There was like, they changed a good amount, so I definitely want to read the book. I remember even like, I think crying when I read this book. I remember that a little bit. I teared up a little bit, just because you could see, and it was because of Kate's vulnerability. I saw that part of her, like there's something about her that just how she's kind of like a tough shell. She has this tough shell, but she's kind of very sensitive inside, and there's a vulnerability, and I wish we got to see that more in the show. But other than that, I think it was done really well. I think like I said, I wish there was less subplot, like, because I feel Penelope's gonna get her own freaking show, like her own freaking season, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even really Penelope. It was mostly like her family, just all of what happened with them. Of course, they left us with season 1, they left us with like that whole thing about their money, their financial situation, and we got to learn more about it now. And they have this whole like scheme that they're doing, but for me, I really came to season 2 for Anthony and Kate, and that's what I was invested in the most. Like, and because they were so kind of electric together, every scene, like the playful scenes, the kind of bickering scenes, everything, the tender scenes, all of them were done so well, and they are just both freaking amazing actors. And I feel like that's why I came to watch season 2. It's because of them. And I feel like so much of the airtime, because like the episodes were, they were like an hour long, an hour and like 8 minutes long, and they were pretty long episodes. And so for me, it's like, I literally, whenever I got to a point where I was watching that, I would just be waiting for Anthony and Kate scenes. And yeah, so I loved it. I genuinely really enjoyed them both. They did a really, really good job. I also want to talk about her relationship with her sister, and another difference in what happened. So in the book, Edwina was not as hurt about like when what is it called, when Anthony and Kate ended up having to get married, because they were kind of caught in a compromising position. She wasn't as hurt in the book like she was, so that kind of surprised me as well. Like, she took it kind of hard, and they decided to go that route with it. Like, she took it hard, and she was, when I was watching and I was seeing how much she liked Anthony, I could tell, like, oh, okay, like, this is not gonna go well. This is not, because in the book it almost felt like it didn't feel like she was super invested in Anthony, like super invested in Anthony. Like, it was almost like when she found out that her sister was going to marry him, she was just like, it's okay, like, I can see that you guys have this thing. So that was kind of surprising as well. We kind of had to, you would see, so in the show there's like that whole situation where it's almost like Kate is controlling Edwina's life and choices in a way. So we saw that between the two of them. And they also had the whole grandparent thing, which was kind of a surprise. And yeah, so they definitely went a different route. But overall, I think the season was 100 times better than the first one. And it had everything to do with the chemistry between the two main leads. They were amazing, and I just want more of them in the future of Bridgerton, but I just don't know how that's gonna work. I hope that we get invested in the other relationships like we did, like I did. I hope I know a lot of people do, because I was reading comments and just kind of the online buzz for the show, and a lot of people just enjoyed the show so much, and I knew it was going to. I knew it. I never feared it for some reason. Like, after reading the book, I was just like, oh my god, it was so good. I can't wait to see it. I never, like, even after seeing the actors, I never really feared there would be a problem. They did such a wonderful job. Both actors are so incredibly talented, and they freaking nailed it. They did such a good job. And yeah, I can only hope for the future of Bridgerton that I get really invested with the other characters, like romances, their love stories, because I feel like that's what Bridgerton's all about. And yeah, I'm really excited to actually see Benedict's, what is it called? His storyline. I, however, kind of want to get the show tie-in for the cover, because I know that there's going to be a new cover for this, and I kind of want to get it with the actors on it. But I mean, am I really going to have 2 copies of the same book? That won't make much sense. So there's that. But yeah, I think I covered almost everything, you guys. I really loved it. Daphne, again, like we saw in the trailer, she did come in, and her cute little baby, she brought her baby, and that was really sweet. I also want to talk about, like, just how I love any kind of scene where all of the Bridgertons are together. They have an amazing family chemistry. Like, they even that game they played, what is it called? Was it called? Pall Mall? Is that what it's called? Pall Mall? I don't know what it's called, but it's that game with, it almost looked like croquet through like little hoops or whatever. Love the chemistry between the family just in general is so good, and it like is just so intriguing to watch. It just looks like just fun. Like, I mean, I've always wanted more siblings, and I feel like it just makes you kind of just imagine having a life with like a lot of siblings, and just kind of, I don't know, it just looks like so much fun to be a part of that family. But yeah, the chemistry with the family alone is amazing, and it's electric, and it's really, really, you can see how it just looks like a real family, and they all kind of look alike too. They did amazing casting for like looks wise. They all really do look alike. Yeah, but I will also say though, I noticed what is it called, Eloise and I think his name was Theo, if I remember the guy's name. His name was Theo. I could be wrong. But he, for some reason, he looks like the guy, the kind of her little love interest, or 2 seconds. I don't think that's going to be the love interest in her season. I don't think so. I have not read the book, so I don't know. But he looks almost related to her. I don't know if I'm bugging out, but they look related. He literally could have played Colin Bridgerton. I feel like if he had played the younger brother, like the 3rd brother, I feel like he would look like he fits in as a brother in there. Nothing against Colin, but I feel like he would have been able to fit there because he looks so much like Eloise. Like they almost look related. But yeah, that's I don't know why I couldn't get over the fact they look so much alike. But I don't really think, like I said, I don't think he's gonna be the love interest. It could have been just kind of like an Anthony situation with the opera singer where he had a kind of like a love interest and then later on it was someone else. But I think that's what's gonna happen. Definitely want to read the third book but I think I'm gonna wait to get closer just so I can kind of do the same thing, do a little review comparison, because honestly it was just amazing. And I loved the whole experience of just reading the book and then being able to watch the show because it's so different. It's not the same at all. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys thought about the show. Let me know your thoughts on everything from the chemistry to the differences. Like, what did you love? What did you think they should have kept in? What do you think what do you think they shouldn't have kept out or like cut out? Just anything you want to talk about. I am all ears and I'm wanting to talk about it in the comments. Be sure to like this video. I think I covered almost everything. Like I said, I'm really excited for season 3. I hope Anthony and Kate are actually in season 3 because I love them, and my hopes are that I love Benedict's series or season just as much as I loved Anthony's, because I want to be able to keep watching. Also, let me know in the comments, like based on the books, if you've read all of them. I think a lot of you probably have, because I was talking to a few of you guys and you told me that you have read all of them. Let me know which books are your favorite. For me, I loved Anthony and I knew I wanted to read the book. Like I knew after season 1, I was just super intrigued by him and just kind of where his story would go. And I'm also super intrigued by Eloise. So I kind of want to see where that goes. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of interested in Benedict as well. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get my hands on his book, but I don't know if I'm gonna read it now. I think I might wait, like I said, closer to when season 3 comes out. But that is it, everyone. I am gonna close out this video because it's getting a little long. Like I said, comment whatever you guys want down below about the show, about the book. Let me know your thoughts, what you liked, what you didn't like. Make sure to like this video if you guys want to see more reviews on books, shows, adaptations in general. Be sure to hit the subscribe button because it really helps me out, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.